What should our intro be?
I mean, it's your channel, the intro you always have.
I always come up with my intro just like on the spot and I do something weird. That's literally all I do. Okay, hi.
It's happening.
It's happening. Okay, I'm here with Royal Horror with Tiago, and I'm in London. I'm in London right now.
After how many months? Like maybe
4
or 5 maybe.
It's still hard to believe that I'm actually here. I'm literally like halfway across the world right now, and I'm in London, which you can't tell from where I'm sitting, but I'm gonna be having videos coming out on my vlog channel, so like you'll see all my adventures and stuff. But right now,
I mean, we have to
jump scare. Okay, so as you saw by the title, today we are talking about our top 10 found footage movies, top 10 found footage horror movies.
Horror movies, yeah.
Because there are some that are not horror, but like most found footage movies are horror.
Thriller sometimes. I don't know what Kylie list is, and Kylie doesn't know my list, so this is like live action reaction to...
Yeah, we're like... It's like a reaction video too, because we're reacting to each other's top 10 lists, so... It's
quite special because we both love found footage so much, because we think it's such an underrated subgenre in filming in general, so... And so I'm quite excited because I'm sure we're gonna coincide in many movies, but I'm sure we're going to mention some movies that maybe Kylie hasn't seen, or maybe I haven't seen, so I'm quite excited for that.
Yeah, I'm curious because I know that some of ours are going to be the same. Some found footage movies are so iconic, so...
Are popular, so for sure they will be in our list.
Yeah, but I know that I have some that you're not going to, so you must have some that I'm not.
Same. So, I cannot wait because maybe I haven't seen them, so...
Yeah.
Found footage, give it to me.
Dude, this is like the first time also, I just have to point out that we haven't had to redo a take yet, and normally when I film by myself, I mess up my words all the time. I'm like, and I have to do like so many takes.
Same.
But if you saw us on Twitch, because we did a live stream too, dude.
That was so much fun. If you're watching this video and you were on our Twitch live, that was so much fun because we have apple juice.
Yes.
While watching Sorority Row, and that movie is one of the cheesiest movies ever made, but it's also amazing. So I'm glad Kylie liked it, to be honest.
Yeah, that was awesome. So like catch us on Twitch, because when we get on camera together, like apparently I don't need to do more than one take, and we're just really good on camera together, and so like
we're gonna do many Twitch lives, so just be ready for that one.
Catch us live. My Twitch will be linked down below.
So much love.
But anyway, so we're gonna get into the topic of today's video. We both have 6 honorable mentions. I'll start out. Unfriended made my honorable mention.
Unfriended made my honorable mention. Both movies.
What?
So from 2014 and from 2018, both movies. Both Unfriended.
I thought Dark Web was gonna make your top 10.
That was that plot twist.
Because he. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because we're gonna talk about our unpopular horror opinions in another video on my channel. So
we're gonna have so many collapses. Yeah. You're gonna get tired of Haunted Hippie and Royal Horror together.
You'll be sick of us. With us. Yeah. Or just sit back, have a drink, enjoy our chaos.
Have apple juice, right?
So the next one on my honorable mention list is Paranormal Activity.
Ooh.
Didn't make my top 10.
Paranormal Activity didn't even make my honorable mention.
You don't like Paranormal Activity, right?
Plot twist. Yeah. Maybe you will find a surprise on my top 10 list. But the original, I appreciate it, but like...
it's just not for you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention is VHS.
I haven't seen that yet.
Didn't make my top 10, to be honest, because I only seen it once and I don't really remember it. But I remember that I liked it, but I just haven't seen it at once, so it wouldn't make sense if that makes it my top 10.
I haven't watched it yet. I have it on DVD, but that's kind of ironic. I have VHS on DVD, but Leanne watched it for the first time recently. Leanne from Jump Scared, the official Scream Queen. She's our friend.
We are gonna meet very soon, so expect a collab with 4 people, save Leanne. God. That's gonna be
the chaos.
The chaos.
The chaos.
We called ourselves the
Mean Girls.
The Mean Girls.
We need to think of something else, because
we have to film the video with the outfits from the Mean Girls.
That would be sick. I know. Oh my gosh. I wish I brought something though that actually I do have a sweater that I think kind of has that energy. Right. Oh, but if I'm gonna be Janice, I could wear this maybe, and then just do dark makeup, and then
we're gonna be Janice on Thursday, because we are going to.
Oh, we're going to see Midsommar. Gonna get dressed up to see Midsommar. Wait, what were we talking about? We went on a tangent.
We are on honorable mentions.
Right, but but Leanne, I was talking about Leanne because she recently watched VHS, I think for the first time, and on Letterboxd she said something like a misogynist's dream or something. So I was like, oh god, okay, maybe I wouldn't like that movie, but I don't know anything about it.
I think you like that movie too, and I think it's very cool, but like I said before, I don't really remember it, so I don't know. I haven't watched the sequel though, so I don't know anything about the sequel.
Yeah, I think Leanne said that the first sequel is really bad, but the third one is really good. I'll go to my next honorable mention, The Gallows, and is that an honorable?
Okay, continue.
Okay. I put that on my honorable mention because I haven't seen it literally since it came out in 2015. So I was like 16 years old when it came out and I loved it, but I don't remember like hardly anything about it. It could be awful, I don't know, but I did love it at the time, so it made my honorable mention list. So
remember when I say I thought you were gonna include a movie that I hated? That's The Gallows. The Gallows.
What? Okay.
I love found footage films, but The Gallows. Like, what's that film? Like,
it has terrible ratings.
Someone gave me my money back because I appreciate any film ever made. I really appreciate it because of course The Gallows must have so much work behind. For the 2015 movie, that's quite modern. That film felt like an early 2000s films. I don't know, I
kind of love that.
I like the soundtrack though. Soundtrack is sick. Especially at the cinemas. I like the soundtrack.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't really remember almost anything about it. Like, I know it's a story about, like, there was a school play, and this kid was, like, I don't know if it was an accident or if it was, like, a ghost or whatever, but, like, he got hung on stage. So that's, like, all I remember about the movie.
I did like the red color that the movie had. Okay. So that's something.
I don't know. Listen, 16-year-old Kylie had much different taste, all right? I didn't know as much. I just, I liked what I liked. If it entertained me, I usually loved a movie, so...
My next horror adventure will be Cloverfield, the sci-fi horror.
Okay.
Can that be considered a horror movie?
It has
a creature.
I would say so. It's sci-fi horror.
And I have to thank you and Sarah because you both recommended that film. I own it on Blu-ray, and honestly, it's had such a good time. I think it works. And it's a 2000 movie, so of course it's gonna have cheesiness, but I like the cheesiness. And to be honest, the end, I did not expect the end.
Me either.
So that was quite shocking. So that's why it's my horrible mention.
It's a really shocking movie. Yeah, and also the first time that I watched it, I don't think that I knew that it was an alien movie.
I mean, I knew because you told me, but
yeah,
it's very and I watched that with my dad, and my dad really he's not really into horror or sci-fi, but he actually liked the movie, to be honest. So
that's good.
That's a plus, yeah.
My dad, you're lucky because my dad like won't watch found footage. He watched the Blair Witch Project with me because I told him about like the historical impact, like the impact, but he really didn't like it. He just does not like found footage at all.
Yeah, found footage, like we have talked before, found footage maybe it's not for everyone. That's because it feels like, of course, with the camera and can feel like shaky and stuff, but I like that because it feels more realistic, and us as a filmmakers, it's like we identify because that's what we do, like mostly every day. Like we live with our camera, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'll move on to my next honorable mention, which is this is my last horror honorable mention, which would be Blair Witch, which is the 2016 sequel to the Blair Witch Project. I thought that one was going to make my top 10, to be honest, because I really, really like that sequel, but there are more found footage movies that I love more.
I haven't watched that film, so I cannot really comment anything about it. I own it because I bought it like blind, so I don't know if I'm going to like it, if I don't, but I think I'm gonna like. I like to say.
I think he's gonna like it because he likes the original, but he also likes gore a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I love gore, to be honest.
Yeah, and Blair Witch, like, it's cheesy and like some of the acting is not great, but it has a really similar feel to the original, and there's more gore. So we're gonna watch it together because I think.
Oh, that would be sick.
I think you're gonna like it.
We can stream it maybe.
We can stream it on Twitch. We can stream his reaction.
My first ever reaction. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can order some sushi maybe, some pizza.
Sushi. Okay. Yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
We're ready.
Okay.
My next honorable mention will be. I don't want to see my top 10. My next honorable mention will be Rec 2. Yeah, I liked Rec 2. It's one of my favorite sequels. I don't want to give any spoilers, but Rec 2, like I said before, I've watched like long time ago. It wouldn't make sense in my top 10, so that's why. But it's a sick movie. You all should watch Rec 2.
Yeah, we're going to watch it. This is actually the pile of movies that I had not seen yet, like when I came, and these are the ones that he owns that I haven't seen. So we have this whole pile that we're going through. We've watched like 5 of them already, I think.
Those movies were amazing.
Yeah, and Rec 2 is on top. We need to watch Rec 2. So I haven't seen that, so I can't say anything about it. it. But okay, so I have two that are honorable mentions that are not horror, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. I'm just going to like list both of them off right now. So one of them is Project Almanac. That's more of a thriller, and it's about like time travel, but again, I haven't seen that since it came out, so I don't know if it's like actually good or if it was just teenage Kylie that was really into it. And then the next one, I know I still love this movie, but I haven't seen it in several years, and that's Project X, which is, you know, the one about the party. It's just, it's dumb.
Project X. That movie came in like 2010.
It's an older one, yeah.
2011, and I was like 11 years old or 10, and I remember watching that movie behind my parents' back, because of course that movie includes like teenager stuff, and I was a kid, so I will always love that movie. And the first one that you mentioned, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what to say about that one.
I don't feel like Project Almanac is one that most people know about, because I don't think it got good reviews. Like, it might not be a good movie. Okay. I just remember loving it at the time, and I love time travel and found footage, so like
just the best combination for you.
Right? Yeah, and that's why I love Cloverfield so much too, because it's like sci-fi, found footage, horror. All the good things. Early 2000s. It's all the good things. It's all the good things.
My two last horrible mentions, I'm just going to mention very quickly. The first one will be Hell House. Hell House is a horrible mention. I only watched the movie twice, but to be honest, I need to give it a third rewatch, because the first two times that I watched that film, I had a bad experience, but not because of the film, just because of the environment. Like, the first time that I watched it, I was with some friends, and they hated found footage, so they wouldn't stop hating on the movie. And the second time I was with like my nephew and my niece, so I was not concentrated, so that's why this is my honorable mention, just because of the environment.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about that movie in a minute.
Spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, okay.
And the last honorable mention will be Searching from 2018.
I haven't seen that, but people have said I would like it.
It's more like a thriller than horror, but it has some horror elements. It's not on my top 10 because of that, because it's not like proper horror, but I love that. And the plot twist at the end, I personally did not expect it at all, so that was quite shocking for me.
A couple of you guys have told me that I would like that movie, because
it's a good movie, yeah.
Yeah, I talked about Unfriended recently, and somebody commented something like, oh, well, Searching is just like the upgraded version of Unfriended, basically. They're like, it's the better version of, I don't know.
It's not similar at all, to be honest.
Like, the stories don't sound similar to me, so I was
it's not. The story is completely different. I prefer Searching.
I think what they mean is like just the style of it, because
the style, yeah, because it's on a sky cold, or like it's on a computer.
Yeah, it's all on the computer screen, which is kind of an intense form of found footage, which is why like it's not my favorite. That's why Unfriended made my honorable mention, but not like my top 10, because it's just it's a little weird. Anyways, we're ready for our top 10 now.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I will begin with my number 10, which is a movie called The Bay. 2 million fish wash ashore. 1,000 blackbirds dropped from the sky. On July 4th, 2009, a deadly menace swept through the quaint seaside town of Claridge, Maryland. But the harrowing story of what happened that Independence Day has never been told until now. The Bay, that had to make my top 10 because it's one that I've only seen once, but I watched it recently, and I feel like that's one that totally flew under everybody's radar, because it's a combination of a lot of stuff. It's kind of like a virus movie, but
I like virus movies, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's like not exactly, because it's a really interesting twist on that. But I don't want to give any spoilers, obviously, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And he hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it, so I cannot really comment. Yeah. I've seen the poster, and I love posters, so that poster looks pretty sick. So that's why I'm quite excited about it. My number 10 will be As Above, So Below.
Okay, good.
When a team of explorers ventures into the catacombs that lie beneath the streets of Paris, they uncover the dark secret that lies within the city of the dead. I watched it for the first time like in January or February, and that movie came like in 2014. So I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. I loved it because the concept is so cool. It's in Paris, and I think not many films have tried to interact with what happens.
The catacombs?
Yeah, so not many movies have to deal with that, and I love the cast. I love the jump scares. They worked. It's like number 10 just because it has some cheesiness. Like for example, the rogue stone and some jump scares at the end. They are quite cheesy. So that's why it's in my number 10.
And the effects too. Some of
And
them
the
are
effects,
like
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
has some cool kids though. So.
It does. That made my list too. So
Okay, I'm excited.
It's yeah. Okay, so number 9 is a movie that he told me to watch, and that would be Rec. It's a Spanish film. I feel like that one probably made your list too, but we'll get there when we get there. A television reporter and cameraman follow emergency workers into a dark apartment building and are quickly locked inside with something terrifying. That one had to make my list because it's a really good, like, really contained story. I think the movie is only like 71 minutes long, so just a little bit over an hour, and it's this really rich, full story. And I don't think that I've seen another movie where, like, the found footage premise is the fact that it's somebody that's, like, doing a news report. That's such a good idea. I'm like, how have I not seen that before? Like, how is that not more common?
And it's such a cool concept for found footage. Yeah. It's literally you're recording the news or whatever is happening.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you should definitely go in blind, because that's what I did. And the first, like, twist, I'm not going to even say
this movie deserves going in blind.
Go in blind.
Yeah. Don't watch the trailer though, please.
Don't. No.
Oh my god.
The trailer gets...
And we don't talk about Quarantine.
Oh god, the Quarantine? No, that's
it's
not going to make any list.
But Quarantine is okay, but watch Rec instead of Quarantine.
Yeah, so Rec is a Spanish film, I should have mentioned, and Quarantine is the American remake. It came out literally a year after, and it is a shot-for-shot remake. Like, they didn't try to do anything different at all in Quarantine, and I'm like, we both said, like, why does it exist? Like, why does it exist? So, anyways, Rec made my list. We don't talk about Quarantine.
Alright, my number 9 will be, Kylie's gonna be surprised, the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, at number 9?
Number 9.
I get it. It's not totally your taste.
I like the movie, but the movies that are coming after the Blair Witch Project impact me more, and I have more fun watching them, and I will rewatch them more over the Blair Witch Project. I like the Blair Witch Project because the year it came out, 1999, I think it's the mother of found footage, to be honest. I don't think I know older movies than the Blair Witch Project that found footage, in my opinion. Maybe they are. And I also like that it's like the directors are like recent graduates.
Yeah, they're really
so
young.
It's like I really identify with that because I would love to do something like that. So I think that's why. And the end was quite shocking. So yeah, Blair Witch Project is a great found footage.
Yeah, I think that the only one that really, like, made an impact before the Blair Witch Project was Cannibal Holocaust. That was like,
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't either, but I'm not going to watch it because it has a lot of stuff that I am not interested in. Let's put it like that. So yeah, I think that came out in like the 70s. So like, people obviously thought it was real back then, but I don't know if it had like as much of an impact as Blair Witch Project, because
I don't think so, because I haven't heard of it before.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's the only one before Blair Witch Project that I can think of, but I feel like that one didn't have nearly the same impact because obviously not as many people watched that movie. I've heard it's like really gruesome, and it's called Cannibal Holocaust.
I mean, maybe I would like it because I don't mind that it's tough, but because it's from the 70s, I don't know how it worked with found footage.
I don't know. I feel like, classic horror, like older horror movies are not.
I like classic horror, especially the 70s are okay.
Yeah.
Not the 80s, but I like classics, so maybe I will give it a go.
I mean, well, I know you like slashers and like Friday the 13th, right? But like, anyway.
We'll see. Well,
yeah. I know, I always go on tangents though. We know
it's
this.
Okay.
Okay. So my number 8 would have to go to Creep, which is the Mark Duplass film. Aaron answers an online ad and drives to a stranger's house to film him for the day. The man wants to make a movie for his unborn child, but his requests become more bizarre as the day goes along. So this one made my list because it's like, I think it's such a unique movie. It's such a unique premise, and initially I think this movie took me 2 days to watch because I started watching it with my dad, and we both agreed that it was just very, very weird, which I've learned now, having watched like more Mark Duplass movies, that's kind of his normal. Like, they all kind of have that weird kind of quirky charm to them. So then, like, but when I did go to finish it, I ended up loving the movie because I thought like there were some really good twists and stuff, and I found it really interesting because I think it's something that I just really haven't seen before. So
Creep is on my list, so it's gonna be higher than yours, and I completely agree with you. I think Creep is such a unique concept, and it came out in 2014, and in that era is something that we needed, because of course, even though Unfriended came in the same year, I think I prefer Creep than Unfriended, and I think it's such a great movie for this genre. Coming at number 8 will be Host from 2020. 6 friends hire a medium to hold a seance via Zoom during lockdown. but they get far more than they expected. Things quickly go wrong. When an evil spirit starts invading their homes, they begin to realize they might not survive the night.
Oh, dude, I feel bad, but like, Host didn't even make my honorable mention.
It's okay, the gallows didn't make my top, so we're even now.
Well, I feel like the gallows, like, that's more understandable, but I feel like Host, that's a movie that's like pretty universally loved.
I love that film because, first of all, it came out during the Panorama. I've watched the behind the scenes, and literally the cast had to do everything. So that's quite admirable. Even the makeups, the effects. So I really like that. And I think the storyline is very straightforward. It's not even an hour.
No, it's like 54 minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I had so much fun. And the jump scares, they work. And some of them, they're like, I actually jumped. Mm-hmm. So I really liked Host.
To be honest, I just felt a little bit underwhelmed because it reminded me a lot of Unfriended. And I just felt like a lot about it was stuff that I had seen before. But like, that's not to discount at all like the work that went into it, because it is a very unique and like original piece of art. It's just that like the horror elements and the story didn't feel like something new to me, so I was kind of underwhelmed, but like I fully appreciate it. It's, you know, it is an original thing despite maybe the story or the scares not being so I respect that it's on your list, but yeah, it didn't make my honorable mention. So we can move on to our number 7. So my number 7, which I hope will be on your list too, The Taking of Deborah Logan. What starts as a poignant medical documentary about Deborah Logan's descent into Alzheimer's disease and her daughter's struggles as a caregiver degenerates into a maddening portrayal of dementia at its most frightening, as hair-raising events begin to plague the family and crew, and an unspeakable malevolence threatens to tear the very fabric of sanity from them all. Wow, that's a really dark synopsis. Jesus. Taking of Deborah Logan, that had to make my list because, again, it was something that just, like, totally shocked me. And I feel like with found footage, it's one of the most unique subgenres of horror. Like, I feel like I found the most unique stories because, like you heard from the synopsis, it's about this woman that has, like, Alzheimer's or dementia or something.
I love when horror movies talk about things that are, like, outside of horror. Like, when horror movies talk about things that are not slashers, gore, blood, people just dying randomly. I love when horror takes a serious path. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not found footage. Relic is a good example.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Relic is a great one that deals with, like, a very similar theme with, like, Alzheimer's and stuff. Horror works really well for me when it feels very personal. Mm-hmm. So, like, even though sometimes, like, with The Taking of Deborah Logan, things are not so subtle, I feel like some of the horror elements with dealing with, like, aging and death and things, those are really serious. And
especially
like,
the end. Because there is a scene at the end. I don't want to give spoilers. That scene shocked me. It's so traumatic or like just unpleasing to watch.
Yeah, so I will say it's not solely about aging and death. It's and disease. It takes paths that are not expected.
My number 7 will be Afflicted.
Oh, really?
Afflicted, yes. Two friends tour of Europe takes a dark turn when one of them contracts a mysterious illness. They race to find out what it is and how to cure it before the sickness consumes him completely. That came out in like 2018?
Yeah, I just watched that for the first time recently.
Oh, nice. Afflicted, I don't want to give spoilers because I think this movie deserves like a watch. This movie, I only seen it like 2 times. I really want to own it, and this movie is quite horrific in my opinion.
It is.
That movie, I love found footage, and this movie knew how to work with that and knew how to horrify me, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think the horror elements work. The characters, I like the characters. I was rooting for them. I like the protagonist. You just need to go blind, to be honest. So.
I will say that it is a twist on a very old subgenre. On a very old, tried and true,
to be honest.
And it's something completely different and you'll see. No
we shouldn't give it spoilers because this movie really deserves a watch.
Oh, that one didn't make my list either, though.
Oh, it's okay. Why?
It's a little bit more on the gory side for me, and also because there's so much puking in that movie. There's so much vomit. There's so much throwing up, and like when I see that, it makes me want to throw up. And so when it happens on screen, I'm like no, like please. And it happens so much in that movie.
I personally don't mind, and in this movie, it makes sense the reason why.
It does.
Maybe that's why I didn't mind.
It's perfectly has to do with the story, and it fits, and so like it's not a problem story wise or anything, and it's not a problem with the movie. It's just a problem for me.
Yeah,
like I just
we all have different tastes, and that's amazing. vomiting, so it's fine.
Yeah, I just don't like vomit. Okay. Okay, so my number 6 actually is Cloverfield. So we've already kind of talked about that.
Top 6, that's quite high.
It made it higher.
Good.
Even though it's like
higher than Creep. Wow.
5 young New Yorkers throw their friend a going-away party the night that a monster the size of a skyscraper descends upon the city. Told from the point of view of their video camera, the film is a document of their attempt to survive the most surreal, horrifying event of their lives. I will say, like, Cloverfield is probably not as good of a movie, maybe as, like, you know, Wreck, The Bay, Taking of Deborah Logan. I'm such a sucker for aliens. Like, I'm a big sci-fi girl. So even if it's not as good of a movie, like, I just enjoy it a lot more. And, like, it's one that I'll rewatch more often than some of these other ones, because some of these, like, The Bay is pretty gory. So it's a little bit tougher of a rewatch for me. So Cloverfield is just, like, more rewatchable, more enjoyable for me.
My number 6, and I'm so Christina if you have watched this movie, because this is a Japanese found footage.
Probably not.
And the name is Noroi the Curse from 2005. And documentary and filmmaker explores seemingly unrelated paranormal incidents connected by the legend of an ancient demon called the Kagutaba.
Oh, I have not heard of that one.
Alright.
I trust that it's a good movie though, because like the Japanese horror, especially involving demons, is usually pretty good.
I love Japanese horror. I love Asian horror in general. Like The Grudge, Yu-Hon The Grudge is one of my favorite franchises. I watched this movie for the first time like 2 years ago and I fell in love. The effects work perfectly. The visuals are very great and the found footage like looks so pleasing. Like it looks so realistic. And the demon is, in my opinion, is very horrific. So I don't want to give any spoilers because please do watch this movie. Support foreign films, especially Japanese. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, expand your palette. Watch international movies. Like I'm trying to do that more often now. I think.
And the poster like. It's so horrific in my opinion. I don't know. I just love this movie so much. I need to own it, please.
Okay, I need to see it then. I'll put that one on my list. Moving on to my number 5, which again we've already talked about this one, but it's As Above, So Below.
Oh, number 5.
Yeah, because the reason why I made it so much higher on my list, because I've only seen this movie once, but I loved it so much because I talk about the fact that I'm really desensitized to a lot of things except for like maybe gore. So it's hard for things to scare me, but the reason why this movie makes it higher up on my list is because it was so effective for me, because I get very claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah, that's something I forgot to mention.
And this movie, like, it takes place, they literally filmed it in the actual catacombs of Paris. So it feels way too real for me. I empathize with the characters so much. Like, it makes my heart race. Like, I really do feel for the characters and, like, I feel like I'm there. It's a really effective movie, and that's why I made it higher up for me.
I already talked about it. It's my number 10, but I forgot to mention I'm also like very claustrophobic. So I remember I had to pause the movie for a while because I was like getting so anxious.
Same.
Because I was watching on my laptop with headphones, I was feeling the rocks, and I was like, and it was at night, so I had to have like my sheet over me, and I was like just getting so hot, and I was like, let me pause this for a while, let me drink water, let me listen to some music, and let me continue this film. I
literally had to pause it too, but I can't even imagine. I watched it like on my big TV with surround sound and stuff, so it was kind of like around me. But when you watch it,
I don't really know what I did. I mean, because it was quite late, so I couldn't have like the speakers on.
I was gonna say, like, when I have stuff like on, like with headphones in and stuff, and it feels like the sounds feel like they're in your head,
especially in this movie.
Oh my god,
the rocks and everything.
No, I would freak out too.
Coming at number 5 will be Paranormal Activity, The Market Ones.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
The Market Ones. First of all, I just want to say thank you to this franchise for including Latin culture, because Paranormal Activity is not a secret that's very American. No hate or anything, but I love when horror movies include different cultures, and this movie includes Latin one, and I'm Latin, so I love that. And the characters, I was rooting for them, the effects they work, and the way that it's shot is pleasing for me. I understand if people don't like this movie because it can feel quite cheesy, but just because of the Latin representation, I think it's the main reason why it's quite high.
Yeah, you connect with it, you know? And I feel like there's a degree of cheesiness to a lot of the Paranormal Activity movies. So... Like, I've only seen the first 2 though, but like the second movie wouldn't make it anywhere near my top 10 or my honorable mentions, because I felt like even with the second one, like it was kind of they're copy pasting a lot of stuff from the first movie. So that one, like, it sounds like it's more different. Like, it sounds more unique.
It's different. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So I'm excited to watch the rest of the Paranormal Activity movies, which...
I haven't seen all of them, though.
Yeah. Which we might stream, maybe.
And maybe rank them. Yeah. I only seen, like, 3. The original, Market ones, and the Ghost Dimension. So...
Okay, yeah. So we have some watching to do, but we also have all of these to do. So I don't know if
but
we'll have a chance.
we will have time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It will happen.
I'm gonna move on to number 4 now. So number 4 for me is a movie that I've been talking about so much lately, and that would be Troll Hunter. From, I think, 2010 or 2011.
Mm-hmm.
A group of students investigates a series of mysterious bear killings, but learns that there are much more dangerous things going on. They start to follow a mysterious man, learning that he is actually a troll hunter. You haven't seen that
I
one?
have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's one that's so underrated. I think it's because it's a Norwegian found footage movie. But one of the main reasons why I love it so much is I think that it has a serious enough tone, but then it also implements comedy, I think, in really kind of like unexpected times.
But like in a cheesy way?
Sometimes, but it's like, it's really, really self-aware. So when there is comedy, it's like, it's actually genuinely funny because it's not, there isn't comedy like all over the film, you know? Because a lot of the times, like, they do build really good, genuine suspense, but, you know, it's a movie about trolls, so you can only take that so seriously. And
and it's fun footage. It will be fun to have that film.
Another reason too, I've already talked about all of this, but the premise is like, they're these documentarian students, so I obviously like relate to them, and they do take the time to like establish their settings, and it takes place, you know, I think it takes place in Norway. It's a Norwegian film, but you see like a lot of like the countryside, a lot of the wilderness, and like they have these really, really beautiful shots and stuff, and you know, it's shot really well, and so it's really enjoyable to watch. You'll have some laughs, and it also has some pretty good suspense, so like it has a lot of good stuff in it, and I'm just a sucker for creature features too.
I'm excited. Yeah, I love creatures as well, so I'm quite excited as well, because who doesn't love trolls? Come on.
And there aren't really that many movies about trolls. Like,
yeah, like maybe the Disney ones, but Disney would never include horror, so.
Yeah, there's never, like, I don't know really any other horror movies about trolls, like at least not mainstream ones, like at least not good high budget, you know, high concept ones. So anyways.
Coming at number 4 will be Creep.
Oh, okay, nice.
Number 4. And the main reason is because, first of all, I will be quite biased because the first time that I watched this was like on my first few dates. I loved it. I think, like it's mentioned before, that movie is quite disturbing in a sense.
Yes, it's very...
And the main guy, like, wow, that's so disturbing. I actually not felt connected with the protagonist, but that can actually happen to you.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about fan footage. Fan footage on its own, it feels realistic, and Creep made it seem like 100 times more realistic because of the plot twist and everything. So that's why I really liked Creep, to be honest, because of how realistic it can be.
Like all found footage, I feel like I usually connect with it on a more human level, and not everyone feels that way because like maybe people get motion sickness or something, or you know, it's just not the style for them. But for me, I just feel so much more connected, and I agree with that about Creep.
Can I just say that when I first saw Creep, the poster, I didn't know it was found footage. I just went in blind.
Oh.
So, yeah, my ex-partner and I, we thought it was going to be an slasher.
Oh.
The poster looks like an slasher.
It does.
And to be honest, I watched that movie for the first time as Hellfest. We watched like the same day. So we thought it was going to be a slasher. But it turned out to be fan footage. And I think that's why I fall more in love with it, because I love fan footage. And when I realized it was fan footage, I was like, okay, I'm even more interested right now. So
pleasant surprise. Very nice.
Surprise.
My number 3...
Oh, number 3 now. Top 3.
Yes, we're in our top 3. My number 3 has to be Hell House LLC, which was on your honorable mention?
Yeah.
5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes the death of 15 tourgoers and staff on the opening night of a Halloween haunted house tour, a documentary crew travels back to the scene of the tragedy to find out what really happened. Okay, so
number 3. Wow, that's quite high.
I was surprised it was only on your honorable mention because, dude, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Like, I've seen it once. I watched it on my laptop, and I was still horrified.
With headphones?
Not even with headphones. Okay. And it was the middle of the day. Like, I'm telling you...
Oh my god.
Please tell me I'm not alone, but a lot of people have said that it's one of the scariest movies they've ever seen.
It's quite popular, yeah.
Which is a popular opinion. It's, like, it really is that scary. That's why I was surprised it was only on your honorable mention.
Yeah, like I mentioned, because it's just the environment.
Yeah, you need better conditions, because...
Maybe I can rewatch it with Kylie.
Oh,
so,
yes.
And it's on Amazon Prime here in the UK, so...
Okay, we should stream that one.
Yes, please.
Okay, well...
Maybe not as streaming because I want to be...
Oh, you need to be... Right. Sorry. It's one of the scariest movies that I've seen. I think the concept is really great. Like, before I saw that movie, I even thought to myself, I'm like, man, it would be a really great idea if they made a movie about setting up a haunted house where something went wrong. And that's what this movie is. And
yes.
my god. The clown. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done.
I love clowns, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
My number 3, I don't think you have heard about this, and I tried to look for reviews on Letterboxd, and this movie has only like 132 reviews.
Ooh, a hidden gem.
It's very, very hidden, and I really wish people will be more interested in, like, again, Japanese horror. This movie is Japanese and South Korean. A Record of Sweet Murder. A South Korean journalist and a Japanese cameraman in South Korea are invited to an abandoned apartment one day. What they don't know is that they are invited by a killer.
Oh, so wait, is that another one about like a news reporter then? Or she's a journalist?
It combines both, and I don't want to give you spoilers, and again, the poster really helps, and this movie really works up on footage. It's very short, it's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's very straightforward, but again, the visual effects, they work properly. I love the cast, I love the protagonist, I love the environment. I don't know, it just feels so original, and it's such a shame that it only has like 132 reviews, because this movie came like in 2018, so it's been a while. But hopefully people will watch this movie. I really recommend it, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch all the ones that you recommend now, because I have not seen any found footage movies besides Troll Hunter that are international films. Like, I've only seen really American ones, so. And I know that Japanese horror is good.
And that movie quite terrified me. I actually felt scared while watching that movie. Not like in a massive way, but I actually feel like quite uncomfortable, so yeah.
Yeah, which even that is like kind of rare for me now, you know?
Yes, especially like we are in our 20s and we don't really get that scared that easily right now, but in your case Hell House, and in my case this movie.
Yeah,
so I'm quite excited.
Heading on to number 2 now.
Number 2, the last two. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people would think this would be my number 1. My number 2 is the Blair Witch Project, which... I'm so curious to know which is your number 1. I thought it was gonna be your number 1.
I know. I mean, there's not really much to say. I have talked about the Blair Witch Project a good amount on my channel. I just rewatched it recently, and it made my top 10 list of like my favorite forest horror movies. So I've talked about it a good amount. You probably know it and you've probably seen it. Yeah, it has a special place in my heart. It's a very effective movie for me, and I just love it.
The mother or found footage will always love it with Stan, so...
Yeah, there's not much to say.
Yeah.
So.
My number 2 will be The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Okay, I knew that would be higher on your list.
I love this movie so much. I think, like we mentioned before, I love when horror talks about serious topics, and Alzheimer's is a very serious topic. One of my uncles, she suffered from Alzheimer's, so I felt it hit home, to be honest. Like I mentioned before, one of the last few scenes really... It's shocking. I fell in love with the cast. They work. Deborah, she is terrific. Even like, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, she was amazing. My grandmother had dementia too, so like it hit close to home for me as well. And I think, it is rare that you see an older woman as a lead, like in Hollywood. Exactly. In Hollywood, it's such a shame because it's like they view women over 30 as like expired, like less so now, and we're seeing that, older women
Hopefully it's changing because it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I think it is changing, but you look at like the status quo of a lot of older women in Hollywood, and really there's only a couple that have maintained their status, like Meryl Streep is a big one, but it's always nice to see like an older woman. I think she's probably like in her 70s, maybe. I would say probably 70s, and so it's nice to see her as a lead and to see her like act her ass off, and she's great in that movie.
And also we stand because obviously this is Pride Month, and I think one of the directors or it's part of the LGBT community, so we stand.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, that's
yeah, just worth noting. Okay, our number 1.
Wow, number 1. I'm so curious because if Blair Witch Project is not number 1, which movie could be your number 1?
What could it be?
What could it be?
I think if you've been like an avid follower of my channel...
I know now. Okay, okay.
Wait, should you guess?
Okay, I'm gonna guess right now, and I think the number 1 is Dark Phoenix.
Oh, are you thinking of Dark Skies?
Dark Skies, yeah. Sorry, Dark Skies.
You know what's so funny is you kind of got it right because my number 1 is Phoenix Forgotten.
Oh, okay.
But you like mixed Dark Skies with Phoenix Forgotten. Okay, I said Dark Phoenix. But so you know. 20 years after 3 teenagers disappeared in the wake of mysterious lights appearing above Phoenix, Arizona, unseen footage from that night has been discovered, chronicling the final hours of their fateful expedition. As you just heard from the synopsis, like it's an alien movie. Well, it's not technically really an alien movie, it's like an alien adventure movie. The reason why it makes number 1 is because the acting performances sold me so much, and I love the style of it. It's pretty much like an updated version of the Blair Witch Project because it's almost like exactly what that is. Like
number 2, number 1.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it makes sense. Yeah. So because these kids, like they drive out not to the forest but to the desert, and they're not looking looking for a witch, but they're looking for aliens. And so it's really similar. And also the style of it is super cool because the part that's filmed like of these kids, it's filmed like on VHS, on a VHS tape. So it cuts back and forth because it's about this woman that her brother was one of the kids that went missing. So it cuts back and forth from her documentary to the footage that they found. And so the story, like, it's so great. It's so great. It's like a really good example of a non-linear story, which I love when that's done well. It's shot really well. The style of it is super cool with like the VHS and then like the documentary and stuff. And it's like, it's kind of an adventure horror a little bit, and the acting is amazing. Yeah, I think it's super, super underrated.
I haven't seen that movie, to be honest, but because you say instead of looking for the witch, you're looking for aliens, that's what captured my attention. So I'm really excited to watch that movie. I haven't seen it, so...
It's so good. And the ending is like devastating. The ending is crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
My number one, and I think you already know which one it is. Do you want to have a guess?
Do I know? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of all the ones that you said already, and now I can't.
All right.
Wait,
so
give me a hint, maybe?
The name made my honorable mention.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And my number one is Wreck from 2005. I love that movie so much. This is my top 5 horror movies of all time.
Oh.
The main reason why I love this movie is, like you mentioned before, it's about a news reporter, and I think that works perfectly with found footage. I really liked what it's about. I don't want to give any spoilers. I love the gore. I love the kills. I also love that the characters, they work perfectly, especially the protagonist. And also like the side characters. We have even like a Karen. Who doesn't love a Karen, to be honest? And I even love that they included that because that happens in real life. It's very straightforward. I had such a fun watching it as a kid. It really terrified me because I watched it when I was like 9 maybe. It's in Spanish, of course, like it's my native language. I have to support any Spanish movie that comes out. Wreck is like, it's a life changer. I don't know, I just love Wreck so much.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think what I will say, because we don't want to twist it, is again, like Afflicted, it's another like really unique twist, I think, on a genre that's been a little bit overdone at this point, and it's something like really fresh and different for something that we've seen before.
And Wreck came out in the 2000s era, and 2000s people believe it's all about cheesiness, and Wreck is a prime example of that. It's not cheesy at all. It came out in the 2000s. It's original. It's unique. It's terrifying. So that's one of the reasons I love, like, Wreck saves the 2000s as well. So I don't know, it's just I love Wreck so much.
Yeah, that's fair. I should have guessed that. I can't believe I forgot that you put
when
Wreck
I say
2
that it made my honorable mention, it's because Wreck 2 was in my honorable mention.
I know. I forgot that you put that there. I wasn't thinking about that. Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen the third and the fourth one though, with their in the Wreck franchise.
Yeah, and then Quarantine has a sequel, and then the
sequel is good.
Good to know. That does it for our top 10 list of our favorite found footage horror movies, and this has been really fun. This is our first collab on YouTube of many.
Yeah, and this is like my first ever in-person collab.
Same.
We have collab. Kylie and I, we have collab like twice, but like over like online. But I've never collabed like in person with someone next to me. So that was quite excited to do.
And like, I don't know why, but we like barely had to do any takes over. I usually am messing up my words so much.
Same.
I think it's because like my videos tend to be pretty scripted, so I'm like always trying to get it right. But this was all like not scripted. This was all just, you know.
And it was very chill. We talk about one of our fave subgenres, and I discovered films that I haven't seen before from your list.
Same.
And we agreed in so many, and we never agreed in a position, like none of our films were in the same place.
No.
So that was quite exciting as well.
Yeah, I was surprised, but like we did have a couple of the same. So like on our top 10 list, we had The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Wreck.
Yeah, was the Blair Witch Project on your
number 9.
Top 10? And then Creep, right?
Creep.
As Above, So Below. And then that might have been it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, and the rest 5 are films that you haven't seen or were not on your list, and the same with me.
That does it for today. You can definitely catch us on Twitch. We're going to be going live over there. I'll link my channel down below, but I'm just at Haunted Hippie Horror over there.
What's a movie that you're most excited about from my list that you haven't seen? That you want to see?
I really want to watch those 2 Japanese films because I'm
so happy.
Yeah, Japanese horror.
Yeah,
I just haven't explored enough of Japanese horror. So like, and I know that it can be really good. So I'm excited to see that. I feel like one of the only Japanese horror movies I've seen is Ringu, which is a great one, which is the original version of The Ring.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones I'm most excited about. What about my list?
I will say Hell House and your number 1.
Phoenix Forgotten,
because I like aliens as well when they work perfectly, like in Cloverfield. Like I mentioned before, It's about people trying to find aliens, so
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I hope it'll be your style. I'm curious to see if
I
you
like
it. I think-
Cloverfield, so
yeah.
it might help.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna do some other collabs. One more on my channel, I think. Maybe more if we have the time. We have a couple planned for your channel.
Yeah, horror movies that defined us. And
Yes.
I'm very excited for that one because it's not horror. It's not our favorite horror movies. It's just horror movie that if you hear that name, you will think of Kylie or you will think of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also we're gonna do cosplays.
Yes.
So
should we tell them what we're doing?
I think we should mention the characters.
Okay.
Not what we're doing, just the characters. I'm gonna cosplay one of my favorite horror icons ever, and that is Valak from The Conjuring 2 and The Nun.
And I am going to be cosplaying as Parker Crane's mom from Insidious 2.
So it's like,
So we're excited to do that. The Insidious franchise is one of my favorites. Conjuring,
Same.
also one of our favorites. So yeah, it's just we're gonna be looking real goofy, and I'm really excited. I think we're also gonna film like us painting our
Behind
faces
the
up,
scenes,
and
yeah.
we're gonna do behind the scenes. So that'll probably be going on my vlog channel, but you're putting yours on your main
Yeah,
channel. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we have some other really good videos planned. So just stick around and enjoy. All my social media is linked down below. I'll link his social media down below and
It will
his
be, yeah.
channel, of course.
Just let us know your top fan footage films if you haven't seen any of our tops, and just let us know. And yeah.
And that'll do it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye! Oh my god, it was so good, okay.
Oh god.
That was, I don't know what I expected, but like...